Hi, my name is Katie Kataska, and I am the chair of the Professional Development Committee of the New Jersey State Library Association. In the Library Career Path series, we'll be interviewing librarians from a wide variety of positions within the field, from public positions to music outreach and even business librarians. So newcomers and seasoned librarians alike can learn more about the many career options available in the field that they may not have been aware of. We hope you enjoy these interviews, and please like and subscribe to our channel below to help promote the Library Career Path series. Thanks so much for watching this series. We hope you enjoy it. Take care. Okay, so thank you so much for being here today. This has been really great, getting to know you so far. But for everyone else who's just joined us in this interview, can you please give us your name, title, and current place of employment?
Hi, my name is Maria Deptula. I am a Health Sciences Collections Librarian at the Rutgers University Libraries. I am located at George F. Smith Library in Newark, which is part of Rutgers Health. It's not the Rutgers Newark main campus library. It's the library associated with close to the hospital.
Oh, that's good to know. I knew there was one close to the hospital, so.
Yes, it's a Rutgers. Previously, it was called Rutgers Biomedical and Health Sciences. Now it's called Rutgers Health.
That's interesting. And so our
And
next
we have
question.
three different libraries, actually. There are three different health libraries. One in Newark, and one in New Brunswick, and also Library of Science and Medicine in Piscataway.
Okay, and our next question is, so what inspired you to become a librarian? Did you choose this profession or did it find you?
Well, I chose to be an archivist, and I was an archivist for a number of years. And then I lost my job as an archivist due to the company's financial troubles after 9/11. I was working in a city. So then I decided it was time to get a library degree and try my luck in the library field. That's what I did.
Well, and clearly it worked out.
It did work for me, yes.
Nice. And in terms of the career you are currently in, so was there something specific that pointed you in the direction of becoming a health sciences librarian?
Well, I did my internship in the academic library, and I like it. So I wanted to work in the academic library. Actually, I did my master's in the library science at Rutgers. So I was telling my family, oh, one day I would like to work here. Well, it wasn't so easy. So after the graduation, I actually get a job in the one part-time at the archives, another part-time in the public library. And I'm still working a few hours in that public library. And it took me a couple of years actually to transition to an academic library. And then during COVID, the library jobs were very shaky, if you remember. So I decided to get a medical degree and actually specialized in as a medical librarian. And I got a job as a medical librarian, yes.
Oh, nice. If you remember, can you describe the interview process for your job?
Well, for any academic library job, one needs to be prepared for a formal presentation. And the presentation will be either to the members of the search committee, or like in my case, it was to all Rutgers librarians on a very specific topic. And that presentation must be top-notch. Also, one needs to be prepared to be interviewed by several group of people, not necessarily just the search committee, and in various areas of the library, not necessary for the position you are applying. It's usually a few hours process, so have breakfast before you go. Be prepared that it can be also a lunch interview. You are being interviewed during the lunch. I would say that the most important thing for any interview is just to learn about the library and the position you are applying for. Be enthusiastic, be curious, be engaged, ask questions so the search committee knows that you are really interested in this position. And I think this applies for every job, academic, public. even if later you are not going to apply, you decide not to take this job. It is a conversation, and you might meet those people later. So build a rapport.
Yeah. So that's always very good advice. You never want to burn a bridge, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. So our second half of this question is there an asset that you possess that you believe may have helped you land this job?
If you ask me about specific qualifications,
Mhm.
to be a subject librarian, like in my case, what's usually required is either a second degree, master's degree, or in my case, actually, I had an associate degree in medical billing and coding, but you might also have an experience in a specific area. So I was supporting nursing programs. So you need an experience in a specific area or a degree in a specific area. Also, depending on the type of academic librarian's position you apply for, those skills or qualifications are going to differ. For instance, the electronic resources librarians, their requirements are different than the reference instructions librarians. For the reference instructions librarians, one really has to be in front of the group of people and that person must feel comfortable talking to others. When the cataloging librarians, they are always in the back end and they don't need to be in front of the people. So depending on personal preferences and qualifications and skills, you choose the position you want to be in.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So then going on more about your day-to-day, what is a typical workday like for you?
Well, probably like most of us, I start with checking emails and putting off fires. Yes. I'm a list person, so I usually try to accomplish something from my list, and sometimes that's the list from yesterday that I didn't finish. But it helps to have a list. You feel like you accomplished something when you can check off this from your list. But I don't think I have a typical day. As a collection librarian, I need to review, update, evaluate, analyze materials such as ebook databases, recommend purchases. So it's a lot of different things that I need to do. But I'm also a liaison for the dental school, which means I might be asked to do the presentation for the students or meet with the students one-on-one. In addition, I have to support virtual chat. So there are different, on different days, I might be doing different things. I'm also on the tenure track, which means I have to do the research, I have to present and publish. On top of this, there are meetings. Yes, so you schedule your days based on your free times when you don't have meetings. So this actually makes the days actually go faster. So when you don't have to do every day the same things.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like a lot of variety.
Yes.
And I know this wasn't a part of the questions, but what is the tenure track process like for you?
This is a very important part of when one applies for an academic position. Many academic institutions are going to have something that's called tenure track for librarians. It's the same as for the faculty, like to get the professorial position. So depending on institution, so each institution will have a tenure track might differ a little bit. For instance, at Rutgers, we have a contract for 3 years during which we have to publish and present, and there are three main points we have to accomplish: our librarianship, our service, and publications, which is called scholarship. And we have to yes, we have to kind of present at conferences, etc. And after 3 years, we are being evaluated, and we might our contract might be renewed or not. So at other institutions. I know that at William Patterson, at some point, and I don't know how it's right now, so I'm not going to say for sure, but there was no so much pressure on publications. And then there are academic institutions that do not have the tenure track. So when someone is applying for, and then Rutgers also has tenure and no non-tenure track librarians positions. So one needs to really check what are the expectations for a specific position.
Right. And where are you currently in the tenure track?
Oh, I started 1.5 years ago, so
Oh, okay.
I have a
You have a
long
while to...
way ahead of me. So I can tell you that I do a lot of work on weekends at home. So
I can understand. And how long is the process?
up to 6 years before the full
Okay.
thing. Yes.
Yeah, we've had a couple academic librarians interview before you, and it's all different. We even had one from
Yes.
Rutgers also, and I think he said 7.
Well, the 7th year is usually when you're being, tenured already, when you're being
Oh, I see.
accepted. Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And also this might differ because sometimes when someone gets sick, the tenure might be extended. So it's those who were, during COVID, it was the time was extended for those librarians. So
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, the next question is, what skills and qualifications are required for your position? And do they currently match the skills and qualifications that you use most on a daily basis?
well, I need to know the resources in my area. I also need to a little bit know how to negotiate with vendors. Not that I'm doing this a lot, but there is a group of the collection task force when we decide which resources are useful. So I need to evaluate the usage, for instance, and whether it's worth it to renew a particular resource. I also bring new resources to the table, and we discuss whether it's something that it's going to be worth. We reach out to the faculty and ask them for their opinions. So knowing the area for my collection is very important. Also, being detail oriented. It's always helpful when you are a librarian, because sometimes, for instance, I'm working on a very large reading project right now, and sometimes those numbers are just, did I really already deleted this book or I didn't delete it? So it's important to be detail oriented. Working with students, these are skills that one needs to, in public libraries and everywhere. The communications with the person you're working for, it's also very, those soft skills, they are very, very on top of your, knowledge. For instance, the skills in technology, the knowledge of the technologies that are being used are very, very important.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Like, soft skills and technology are definitely not something to sleep on.
No, I agree. Yes.
Okay, and the next question is one of my favorite questions. What is the best thing about your job, and what is your least favorite?
I like to learn, and this job gives me many opportunities to learn about new things almost every day. So I learned about new technologies, new learning platforms, new resources. Okay, so that's something I really like to do. We can participate in seminars, webinars, conferences, and that's very helpful. And then there are days, like I mentioned, my reading project. Then there are very tedious tasks that really have to be done. We have like one day I had to delete 200 volumes of print periodical. I had to check every single one, verified it. And there are tedious tasks, but they need to be done simply. And this is part of my job, simply. Okay.
Yeah, no, I understand. We also have finite space in our library. And what
so,
is the, sorry, go ahead.
no, it's fine. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So what, then going on to the second half, what is the least favorite thing about your job?
Well, I guess I mentioned it, that sometimes there are really tasks that takes time,
Mm-hmm.
and you feel like nothing is going ahead. It's such a slow process, you know. There was a very interesting conference last year in New York. It was called Slow Librarianship. When I was thinking about this, yeah, sometimes, you know, you are reaching out to one person and waiting a week for an answer, and then you are reaching out to another person. So sometimes I feel like I would like to finish something, but I have to wait and wait. Well, we are working in groups, you know, there is a lot of teamwork involved, and sometimes you just have to wait. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm impatient, but yes, sometimes I would like to do something faster, but I have to wait.
I know, I understand. It could be a very collaborative field, but then if you're waiting on someone's portion of a work, it could take up some time.
Yes, it does.
I totally understand. Okay, and the next question is, so what are your salary expectations and does your current job meet them? And are there opportunities for growth in your current position? I know you're going through the tenure track, but
So that's an answer. So my job is a union job.
Mhm.
So I have no complaint about the salary. My union is behind me.
That's good.
Um, and again, tenure track, there is an opportunity, there are opportunities for growth. But as I said, it's not a walk in the park.
Mhm.
And I do have to do my research sometimes at home, after work
Yeah.
hours, you know, so, except that I can do stuff that I like sometimes, not always. Some part of the tenure track are tedious, and some are interesting. So yeah,
No, that's good.
like in every job, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mhm.
Okay, our next question is, so what advice do you have for new librarians or graduate students about to enter the field?
Be flexible. You might be lucky and land the job of your dream right after you finish school. But if you don't, have your eyes open and look for the opportunities.
Mhm.
Join professional organizations. Um, it does help. You never know who is going to be on that search committee. I can say for certain that at least 2 jobs in my life I got because I knew someone, or at least that it helped that
Mhm.
they knew me. So it does help to know people within the profession. So networking helps as much as everything else.
Mhm.
And, you know, small steps help.
Question is, so what do the job prospects look like for your type of position?
Um, so going back maybe 10 years ago, um, there were many hospitals that were actually closing libraries, and many medical librarians were losing their jobs. Right
Mhm.
now, I noticed that there's many openings for medical librarians.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, many of them I noticed that are in parts of the US that are, you know, in areas where the academic freedom is being under attack.
Mhm.
So I'm wondering if this has anything to do with those openings. Um, but it's not, there are openings.
Mhm.
Uh, Many of them require, you know, years or several years of experience, entry level jobs.
Mhm.
And as I said, many academic positions require second masters. But if you can land a job, you can always pursue a second degree. Remember that many schools offer tuition reimbursement. We do have in my library two young women who have their first degrees, library degrees, and they are pursuing additional degrees. So there is an opportunity there.
Well, that's really good to know. And so our next question then is, what has been your biggest challenge in this profession?
In the profession or in my current job? In the profession, I don't know. I probably would find a job of my dream if I were more flexible with moving out of the state, but I can't. So that's something when someone is thinking about a job could consider. I know I had a couple of friends who moved out of the state and they found fantastic jobs. I couldn't do this, but in my particular job right now, I always thought that I'm really good at technology, but I learned in a hard way that Alma analytic reports are really testing my faith in my technology skills. So right now I'm relying on my more proficient friends and colleagues, you know. So the lesson learned is that there might be moments when you can't do everything by yourself. So rely on your colleagues.
No, I completely agree. Okay, and our last question for today is, are there any accomplishments during your library career so far that you are particularly proud of?
Well, I was fortunate to be accepted to present at various local, national, and international conferences, including IFLA. So I travel abroad to library conferences, which is cool. So I'm also and the incoming president of the New Jersey Academic Librarians organizations. But I consider my professional best. I was a director of a small academic library at some point, but that library was a center and the heart of the campus. And the students were coming to help out, to say hi, to participate in programming. And that felt that the library was just making a difference in their lives. So I really was fulfilled then. So that's why I will always keep this as my best memories in the.
Oh, no, that's really nice. Okay, is there anything else you wanted to end on? Anything you wanted to expand on, or any other advice you wanted to give?
For those who are going into the academic field, well, be prepared for two things. That you will need to interact, whether as an instructor or as a virtual chat supporter with other people. It's hard to hide, really, in academic library right now. Learn about all those new technologies because they might not replace us, but we really need to be ahead of them to survive.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I agree. All right. Well, Maria, thank you so much for being with us here today.
Thank you.
I understand you have a job after this, so thank you again for being here.